Welcome to my quarantine garden. I know I am not the only person gardening for quarantine. And that's what inspired this video. What to do with it all. Welcome back to my channel. So I, like a lot of people during quarantine, have been getting into gardening more so than in past summers, I should say, right? Because herbs are kind of like a thing that a lot of people do, but I think a lot of us have been getting more into it. The question now is, now that everything is being harvested, specifically the herbs, not the vegetables yet, what to do with it all, because my basil is popping. I got my parsley that's growing really crazy too, so you can see it. This is the porch herb garden. These are the vegetable gardens here and over there. So for the past few weeks I have been playing around and doing research, and then playing around in the kitchen with so for the past few weeks I've been playing around with the different herbs to see what I could do with them and what the health benefits were, just doing the research. You know, watching Netflix. Watching Netflix has me feeling like I can do anything between Game Changers and minimalism. I have completely Marie Kondo'd my entire house. And so Game Changers has me eating all plants. So, no, but it's pretty cool. I have actually seen a lot of benefits, specifically with the inflammation. I'm going to remember to look into the camera and not the lens. I've been seeing a lot of benefits with the inflammation, which was kind of the whole point. I got into like being sore out walking, and then like my wrists and my ankles were extremely sore. Doing push-ups on the floor and stuff like that was difficult. So that has cleared up a lot. I don't know if it's the dairy, or it's probably a combination of the dairy and the other stuff that I've been finding out about using, stuff like basil and the parsley. So the herbs I decided to grow this summer are basil, I'm sweating like crazy, are basil, parsley, lavender, and rosemary. So I'm going to use all of those, or I have been using all of those for the past couple weeks. So I've been filming myself do that. So I'm going to put all that together for you guys. And I doubt this will be my last trip out here, but yeah, so here we go. So why should you listen to it from me rather than tuning into another channel? Well, I'm not going to assume that you have oodles and oodles of time to master this stuff like some of those other channels. I'm interested in being in touch with the earth and incorporating natural ingredients into my diet and into my life for the purposes of benefiting my wellness without creating time sucks or overcommitting myself in a way that is not sustainable. I'm interested in sustainable, healthy wellness while still being able to be on the go. So that's why you should listen to it from me. Welcome to my kitchen. Starting with basil. Basil actually has a lot of great health benefits, including promoting great digestion. One of the ways that I didn't think of using basil before I started getting ready to make this video was in the form of tea. You can actually boil your basil leaves and actually drink it as tea, which I've already brewed some for myself here. It tastes great. All I did was add a little bit of honey. It's really not that much different from your green tea. The health benefits, just to go over them first, are kind of cool. Basil has a lot of, remember to talk into the camera, the lens. Basil has a lot of things that I didn't realize, like B6 and magnesium, which helps with heart function and regulating cholesterol, but also helps with digestion as well. It is a natural antibiotic, and for me, one of the major health benefits has been the anti-inflammatory properties that it has, because my joints were really aching. But hadn't realized that basil did all of that. So I've been finding some creative ways to incorporate basil into just everyday eating, not trying to make anything complicated, right? Just trying to do things that feel natural. A lot of different other ways to use basil, including infusing olive oil, which I will try and go over a little later. Basil infused olive oil. Add 1/4 cup of olive oil to a blender. Add 1 cup of basil leaves and mix well. Transfer the mixture to a saucepan and simmer on low heat for 5 minutes. Strain the mixture into a glass jar and use within 1 week, or store in the refrigerator for longer use. When harvesting your basil, just make sure you're cutting about 1/4 inch above the nodes. And now moving on to parsley. Parsley, if you did not know, parsley purifies the blood, the liver, and is an overall great source of vitamin D and iron. Parsley also benefits your oral hygiene, and so using parsley in your cooking actually has a lot more to do than just flavor. I like to go ahead and mix parsley with some olive oil or some avocado oil, and I like to brush them over my fresh vegetables before I either put them in the oven to roast or grill them on the grill. These were grilled on the grill with some grilled pineapple here to go along with them. I also regularly keep chopped parsley around so that it can dry out, so that I can just use it as a part of my cooking, and it's already right there ready to go. Far better than the stuff you get at the store. Very easy to grow in your backyard, and just go ahead and harvest as needed. An easy way to use your parsley is in a parsley walnut pesto. This is actually a vegan dish because there's no cheese involved, so whole food, plant-based, and very simple in terms of ingredients. The ingredients you're going to use are 2 cups of chopped parsley, 1 cup of walnuts, and a teaspoon of sea salt. Actually, a half teaspoon of sea salt was actually better, and some avocado oil, which I placed out of reach. And lastly, and a whole clove of garlic that you're going to go ahead and chop up. And it's really easy to make because you're just throwing that stuff into a food processor and getting it ground up. I had to use enough avocado oil to get the mixture to the consistency, or the pesto to the consistency that was helpful. But it's really great in a lot of different dishes, which I'm about to go ahead and show you pictures of, including on flatbread pizza and bruschetta. So rosemary is actually not one of my favorite herbs, and I think that's mainly because I associated it with my clerking days back when I used to be in Baltimore City and going to those Chinese food buffets. They would always put rosemary on the short ribs. Drive me crazy. So I've never really liked rosemary for that reason. However, decided to grow it this summer because I thought that I would develop a new relationship with it. And rosemary has a very distinctive scent. Almost smells like Christmas. And so some of the uses that I'm going to talk about today aren't just for cooking. They're also for the fragrance and keeping them around the house. Rosemary, the most obvious use for rosemary when I think about it is putting them on my red skin potatoes. I like to go ahead and toss them with some chopped rosemary and olive oil before I saute them, roast them in the oven, or put them on the grill. That makes for some great flavor. And rosemary works for great flavor in things like stews and other dishes as well. But did you know that you can use rosemary around the house, not just in your sock or your underwear drawer as a kind of a potpourri to keep things a little bit more fragrant in there, but also in things like candle making or centerpieces. There are a lot of creative ways to use rosemary and incorporate it into the house and into your daily living without eating it and still deriving the health benefits because of that aroma. Rosemary's health benefits include promoting proper digestion, alleviating stress, and improving mood, as well as improving your circulatory system. Last and certainly not least is lavender. Lavender is one I took a chance on this summer. I wasn't really sure how I was going to use it, but you know what? I love lavender because it has the properties to put me to sleep. Lavender is a relaxing agent. Most people already know that, and a lot of people use lavender scented oils, essential oils, as a part of stress relief and calming and reducing anxiety. But you can cook with lavender as well. Today we're going to be cooking with lavender in the form of our kombucha. I thought that would be a creative way to use the lavender. I use the lavender to brew some tea that will be incorporated into my next batch of kombucha, and I'm going to walk you through that now.